How's everybody doing tonight? I'm late. Starting a show late. Sorry about that. It's day 8, which you would think we're further along on day 8, but we aren't. We had a few nights where we stopped for different reasons, including last night we stopped because this piece wasn't moving, and I wanted to figure that out, so here's the answer. When you pull the trigger, that's when this piece can move. So, what did they tell us to do yesterday? Let's go back to, what were they telling us yesterday? It was like, move that piece forward and pull the trigger or something, I don't know. Yeah, here it is. Pull the trigger and pull the bolt handle. Right. Pull the trigger. You can pull this forward. Look at that. So it now works. So it basically, I was pulling the trigger and then I was pulling the handle. You need to pull and hold the trigger, then you can move that, as they call it, bolt handle. It looks like it got a little messed up. Those circles came off. The circles that help it go smooth. One of them came off. 2 of them came off. 2 of them, both on the same side, came off. So we got to fix that. So you can see the 2 circles on this side. They're still on. The circles on this side, both of them came off. They weren't too far from where they belong, but they came off. Got to get them back on. And then I don't know how to keep them on. That's like the question. They're like sticking to the wall rather than sticking to the screw or whatever they're supposed to stick to. Okay, how about now? Pull the trigger. Now, look at that. It's like sticking to this wall for no reason. Try to get it where it belongs. I'm just kind of shaking it around, hoping that it just lands in the right place. Maybe I should flip it over. Like if one side is sticking, then I should probably put that sticky side. Yeah. I'm like pulling this thing apart. Well, I guess I should pull it apart. Flip this piece over. And then hopefully it'll stick where it's supposed to, rather than to the wall. Okay. Oh, it's on. Close this. All right. I don't know. I'm not going to play with it too much. You know, maybe if some more hardware, some more wood gets put on here, then it's going to stick. Or there's going to be more pressure. Obviously, there's going to be pieces going here. And then hopefully this thing doesn't have room to fall out. Anyway, so I think that's exactly where we stopped with testing that. So next we need this J12, which I'm pretty sure is this piece right here. No, sorry. I don't know where the piece is. It's neither of these 2 pieces. This is it. I knew we had it here somewhere. J12. J12. No. Trouble focusing, but trust me. That's J12. Wow. Nothing's working tonight. Something's off with the lighting. I had the circle falling out. Now, how do we turn this around and make it positive? We can't be negative. I know what happens when you're negative. It's things start to snowball. If you're positive, they'll snowball to the positive. If you're negative, they'll snowball to the negative. Like, people like to talk about, like, karma. Like, someone did this and then that happened. Sadly, you're more likely to encounter the snowball effect, which is like the rich get richer, the poor trapped in a cycle of poverty. Unfortunately, that kind of thing happens more often. And it's, nobody would vote for that. But it's just kind of like one of those things. Like, that's just how it works. I believe the term for it is universal law. Law makes it sound like someone made up some BS. It's more like a law of physics, or a law of game theory, or sociology. It's like, it just, the way things are, it's tough to change it. All right, I've done enough fooling around. And we also were talking about fitness, all this puzzle. And I had something today that I was thinking about fitness, but I don't remember what it was. It'll come back to me. And whenever it does, I'll share it with you. So, okay, that's a screwdriver. All right, so here's J12. Oh, you didn't even see that instructions the whole time I was looking at it. I didn't have it on the screen. All right, so this was the instruction last night. Pull the trigger and then pull the bolt handle. And what I didn't realize last night was you had to keep the trigger pulled while you pull the bolt handle. So, like, trigger needs to be in. Anyway, that was yesterday. We're still on segment 4 today. We need 2 pieces we're going to add. J12 and G11. I think it's easy for someone to hear G11 and 12 or J11 and 12, but it's G11 and J12. That's the keyboard. I don't think we've used a single piece from the keyboard, but we have a keyboard. At some point we'll use it, I guess. All right, so G11. Where's G11? There's G11. It says to put the J12 on first. I couldn't tell you why, but there's a green 1 next to J12, and there's a green 2 next to G11. So the J12 is going to go on first. All right, so we pick up the sub, and it looks like you see that little like line there. I think that's where the J12 is going. Symmetrical piece. There's not much to get wrong there. There's some like hooks there. See, I don't know if you can see that. There's like hooks. Probably they're going to line up with something on here. I'm not really sure what. But it's hopefully all just going to line up and work. So far it's not. It's jammed already. All right. Do we go over or under this piece of wood? The instructions don't say. I say we go over. The reason the instructions don't say is the picture they give us, it's like showing this J12 piece not in place yet. It's showing like, here's where it's gonna go. It's not there yet, but that's where it's gonna go. I mean, you can look at the picture there and decipher it for yourself. All right, we're not there yet, but we will be soon. What's stopping this from moving? I don't want to force it and break the piece, but something is stopping it. Or maybe it's an assumption that it goes all the way. See, that's the other thing. The instructions don't say how far this goes in. So it's kind of like sticking out right now. But at both ends by the same amount. So I think it needs to go all the way in, but I'm not sure how to get it all the way in without breaking the piece on the way there. Gotta kind of widen it a little bit. And when you widen it, you bend it. And when you bend it, you're potentially gonna break it. All right, I think we got it. It feels like it could go a little further, but I'm going to assume that we got it. But yeah, it definitely seems like it could go a little further. Is it possibly not clipped in here? I can't get in there to see anymore. See that little clip? I'm going to pull the whole thing off. There's a little clip, and I don't know if we're... Okay, you see this? We got to line this up and see what it looks like. You see that sort of piece of wood there? And you see that dent there? Whatever you want to call that. Slot. I don't know if we were here or here. Yeah, I think we were here, which means it wasn't in. Can you see the difference there? I think we were stopped behind that piece. And I think we're supposed to be in front of it. I'm not sure how to do that. Maybe all the way from the top? No, that's not going to work. All right, we're going to go from the bottom. But we're going to really make sure that we get this thing wide. As wide as it needs to be and as far as it needs to be. We don't want to get stuck on the wrong side. Well, now we're stuck even further out. Okay, I can see a little bit in there. It's like 1.5 inches away, or at least 1 inch away. It's like I need 2 hands to spread it wide, but then I need like a 3rd hand to push it forward. I'm considering using my chin to push it forward. Oh, and one of those circles just fell out, which is not helpful. And it shows that this thing was loose. I mean, it's the same one that's been falling out, but regardless, it shows that it's not a snug fit in here. Which makes it tougher to get the J12 on, because we're trying to go wide around something that's not at as tight as it can be, and I'm not sure why it's not. All right, we got the circle back on. We're getting more efficient at fixing that. This thing is not moving at all. Yeah, I'm going to end up breaking this piece. I can almost guarantee it. I'm considering putting this on the table to get pressure from gravity, and then to use my hands to widen these. But I think if I do that, those circle pieces are going to fall out again. So how about this? We get the screwdriver in there. Well, it popped right back out. I'll get it in there a little further. But then it's going to break it, right? Well, no, it didn't break it. But we're not there yet either. But that was working. Let's try that again. Get the screwdriver in there, slide it down. Okay, yeah, this is good. We're not there yet, but we're very close, and I could see what needs to be done. Okay. Is this piece going to break? That's the question everyone wants to know. I have no way to push it in when I pull both sides apart. I don't have 3rd hand to push it with. I suppose I could call someone for help. All right, let's try the screwdriver thing again. See if that works. It's like how they built the pyramids, right? Like log rolling. Or do they have a acoustic anti-gravity machine? I don't know. Probably depends which channel you watch, what they tell you. I think on History Channel they go with the acoustic anti-gravity machine, but I think in every other channel they're like slaves rolling blocks on logs. History Channel is a little more optimistic. Wow, this thing will not move forward. The problem is it's like one side gets stuck at a time. It's like I can't get both sides unstuck at the same time. All right, maybe I could reach my thumb back, like pull it with my fingers and then reach back to push it with my thumb. Is that gonna work? Probably gonna break this board, as I've predicted already. I think I just almost pulled the whole thing apart. This thing really does not want to go in. It's like it would rather break than go in. Now I'm starting to wonder, maybe it's not supposed to hook in there. No, it's definitely supposed to hook in there. Just difficult to do. Yeah. Can see that slot there. Maybe that slot, maybe it's not supposed to go any further, because the slot is kind of lining up. Yeah, wait a second. Is that where this piece is supposed to go? Oh my goodness. I'm glad we couldn't get it to work, because it would have been wrong. You see this other piece we're going to put in? It's going to go right in that slot, which means the slot is supposed to stay behind that like piece of wood. So if we'd have done what I thought we needed to do, we would have broke it. But that doesn't explain why it looks kind of baggy here. Like it's not fully in, but anyway. This is correct, because this piece goes here. And it won't fit there without that slot. Yep, that's exactly where the G11 goes. And it fits. So we did it. So I probably wasted like 10 minutes there, thinking it wasn't in when it was in. And I also didn't count these two pieces, 138. How deep does this go in? Let me see if we can get it in a little deeper. Wow. Oh, I got it in, but the circle fell out. The circle at the other end. So now I got to go fix that again. If it, oh my goodness, a different circle came out. Okay. Got to fix them both. Okay. And then we got to make this tighter. Okay. How about this? Can this go in any further? No, I don't think so. All right. Well, for now, that's what we got. I'm sure we're going to get something else on the next panel. Yep, absolutely. We're going to add K1 and K2 to each side and H7 to the back. It doesn't give an order. I think I'm going to do H7 first. So 3 pieces, 141. On the piece counter, we're past the halfway mark, whatever that's worth. So 2K. Oh, we're finally using the K board. I don't think we've used any Ks yet. All right, so there's K1, there's K2. I'm not sure yet which one goes on which side. They're definitely exterior pieces. Look at the artwork there. We're going to install them inside out. For now, I'll just put K1 on this side on the left and K2 on the right. And then H7 comes from a different board. We need the H board. Where is that? Of course it's on the bottom. I mean, why would it be on the top? Of course, it's going to be the very bottom board. That's how these things go. All right, there's H7. You can see the H7 on it. All right, H7 goes at the back here. That looks like it's a pretty easy connection, but who knows? Maybe it won't be. So right there, that's where we're putting the H7. Kind of stuck. Needs to go another ½ inch, maybe 1/3 inch, whatever. 1/4 inch. It needs to go further. Again, they don't show these pieces fully installed, so you're sometimes not sure how deep it needs to go, but I think it wants to go all the way, right? All right. Well, it's not doing that. So we're just going to keep working at it till it does. There we go. All the way. Okay. Now K1 and K2. All right, if we're holding it like pointing it away from us, then K1 goes on the left. All right, so this curvy part goes on top. You can sort of see this cutout matches that shape there. And this will help, hopefully help squeeze these boards together, and those wagon wheel pieces will stop falling out, hopefully. Wow, they're definitely falling out. See this one here? Completely out. Well, not completely out, but offline. We can't tighten it up until we know that those wheels are on, and they just keep falling off. Why don't they stay on? You'd think that would be the easiest thing for them to do, would be to stay on. I feel like I want to install like a vice grip or something. They probably are going to give us a piece that's going to function like a vice grip soon enough, but I kind of feel like it can't get here soon enough at this point. I guess I'm just going to keep pinching this thing with my fingers until something else squeezes it together. Wow. This stuff, I mean, just look, why I'm saying wow, just look at it. Everything it's like spreading apart. It's supposed to stay together. It's like, it just doesn't want to. I need like clamps to keep it together. Anyway, at some point something's going to keep it together. I don't know when. I don't know what. It's got to happen though, right? All right. The next panel we're up to. Oh, this is going to squeeze it together. We're going to put this F2 piece on. And it's going to point forward, which is going to be a little weird. But it is going to hold these tabs together. So that's going to help us. All right, so we really need that F2 piece. Hopefully without these wagon wheel pieces falling off another time. All right, F2 is right here. There's F2, so you can see the connectors there. 4 connectors. Wagon wheel still on, those 4 circles. And this is going to connect to these 4 pieces here. That's the plan anyway. Pinch everything together. And this wood is going to kind of hold them together. Like, this is good. This is exactly what we wanted. Something to hold these pieces together rather than having to pinch them with our fingers. Of course, we have to do that to get it installed. But then once it's installed, it'll hopefully stay together. Keep everything nice and tight. It's not doing that yet. Wow. Why? Why is this piece being so uncooperative? All right, stay positive, stay positive. This piece is about to go in there. I just gotta line it up and knock it through. All right, that's done. Could be a little tighter on this side. All right, that's in there. Are you familiar with isometrics? Since we're talking about fitness throughout this puzzle, I believe isometrics is the word for when you push against an immovable object. And I just want to give you one word of caution on that. Do you ever see that movie Incredibles? It's like a cartoon with this family with superpowers. Anyway, that F2 piece was our 142nd piece out of 275, so we're past halfway. So the first Incredible movie is they fight this thing that's like a ball with these claw arms. By the way, the next piece we need is K5. And the only way they can hurt this thing is with itself. So they end up using its claw arms to hurt the body of the thing. That's my word of caution for you on plyometrics. You can push against the wall. I mean, again, I'm not a doctor, so ask your doctor what exercises you could do. But in my experience, you could push against a wall or some steel frame or some similarly immovable object, and there would be no problem. But if you try to use your own body, like you're going to push your two hands together to work your chest or grip your hands and pull them apart to work your back, if you do that, I would say don't do that, but like use a cable or use an immovable object. So that's another type, is cable fitness. That's actually really good because the cable keeps pulling against you. It's not the same as a weight stack. It's not the same as a barbell. It's not the same even as body weight. When you have a cable and you stretch that cable, it keeps pulling back at you the whole time, and it becomes like a cardio. Anyway, I'll talk about cables another night. The piece we need now is the K5, and the thing I was talking about was isometrics, and I was given a word of caution. You can push your arm against an immovable object if your doctor lets you, but don't push it against yourself because you can hurt yourself. You'd be surprised. You'll be shocked, frankly, if you ever accidentally do that to yourself, because you'll think like, I played sports all my life and did all this crazy stuff and lifted all these weights and did all this stuff and I never got injured. And then you get injured by pushing your two hands together. Like there's videos of people like breaking their own thumbs, like by doing the wrong type of hand grip. And there's obviously people who've slid and broken their legs. So like, I don't have all the details ready. I just slid this K5 onto here and then attached to a pins. And that's, again, going to help pinch this together. I can't promise you these circles will never come off, but they should be a little stronger. So anyway, your body can do amazing things. I mean, maybe not if you're Mr. Glass, but if you're more like unbreakable, your body can do amazing things, but it could break itself. So like... that's kind of crazy. And that's rule, I would imagine, would apply pretty universally. I mean, you're not stronger than yourself. I mean, it's an even match, right? If you're pushing your two arms together, it's like a guarantee that they're the same strength or pretty close to the same strength. And apparently that's what it would take to hurt yourself. All right, so in the next panel, we're going to grab two G7s and we're going to put them at the very ends of this. What is this piece? I forget what it's even called. We put it on just 2 panels ago. Yeah, F2. F2 and then K5 and now 2 G7s. So that brings us to 144. G7. The G board is like loaded with little pins. Pins are very popular in the G board. Wow, and the G7 is the smallest of those pins. I can't even really tell that says G7. I'm pretty sure it does, but that's the smallest one, I think, in this whole puzzle. I believe so. Maybe there'll be a smaller piece, but my guess is G7 is the smallest piece in the puzzle, but let's see. All right, so I got them apart. I'm not going to bother sanding them because they're so small anyway that I feel like if I sand them, they're not going to maintain the tension. They're going to go in kind of what you might think of as sideways or matching the broad side of the rest of the weapon. Just adjusting the mic. I have it. For whatever reason, I had the mic at a weird kind of low angle. I don't know if you were hearing me okay. And it still is. I like pushed it half an inch, but I think I could set it up better. All right, there we go. Hopefully you hear me better now. Or maybe you hear me breathing and it's annoying. I don't know. All right, let's get the other G7 in there. Have you ever bent metal? I guess everyone's bent spoons. You're like, if you don't use an ice cream scooper and instead use like a teaspoon to try to get ice cream out and it's frozen, you're probably going to bend the spoon. But there's people who've bent like crowbars. That used to be an event for old-time strongmen. And in fact, when they had the first modern strongman competition, they had that event. All right, the last panel of segment 4 is a QC panel. And I don't know. I can't tell what they're going for here. Let's just take a look at that part of the gun and see if ours looks like theirs. I think it does, yeah. G7s are in the last slot. There's 4 pairs of holes in the bottom piece. There's a hole that goes through the right side of this. I don't know. I think it's okay. I think everything's good. So therefore, we move on to segment 5. All right. First panel of segment 5 is 3 pieces, K11, F4, and F8. And we're just going to attach them to each other. We can put the rest of this gun aside for a second. So 3 pieces. So we're up to now 147. K11. We had K recently. There's K11. Wow. It's a huge piece. I think once we attach this to the rest of the gun, we're going to know the length of the gun. And I can already tell you it's longer than the ROKR AK-47. So look at that. That's just the front of the submachine gun. It's probably going to go like this length or something like that. Does this even fit on the camera? I don't think it does. Let's get rid of the instructions for a second. just to see if this thing fits on camera. Yeah, it does. Just like exactly, and just from one corner to another, but it does fit. All right. I don't know why I was doing that. We don't need to do that yet. I was just curious. All right, so K11, F4, and F8. Where is that F board? We haven't used the B board much. I think they're like the last pieces. They are all inked up, which means they're the skin of the weapon. So they'll probably be like on the last page, we'll be doing all of the B pieces. So the F pieces are these. Nope, these are I's. I don't know where the F's are. All right, I got them. There's F4. It's a huge and thick piece. And here's F8. Well, it's got to be the same thickness. They're all from the F board. But that F4 was a surprisingly big piece. I mean, look how thick it is, and it's pretty big. All right, so if you say so, my friend. All right, so put this on here. Attach the F4 to the K11. Is there a correct side? There's ink on this side. I don't think it's possible to do this wrong. I mean, it only fits this way. Both of them have their ink going the same direction, but I think the F8 goes the other direction. I'm not sure. Let's see here. Yeah, there's only one way to do it, and the ink is the same direction as the other two pieces. Nope, the ink is the opposite direction. So the F8 ink goes in the opposite direction of the F4 and the K11. The instructions kind of alluded to that. We basically just made this K11 piece bigger. I mean, look at that. It looks like it's just one piece. It has those type of trapezoid connectors. It's like just extend the piece. Of course, it doesn't have the strength of being a single piece, but it's, we'll see. You can already tell where it's going to go. Anyway, let's keep looking at the instructions. So we're not attaching it anywhere yet, but look what we're doing. We're taking E2 and E3, 5 G8s, and we're going to attach everything through this board. So E2, E3, and 5 G8s. So I watched a full episode of Bob Ross, actually right before I started this stream. Well, an hour before. From an hour before to a half hour before, and then I took a shower, set up the streaming desk. And here I am. So anyway, I can tell you exactly which episode I watched. It's called The Joy of Painting, and it was season 5, episode 1. They had some strange way of defining seasons. As I understand, he would just drive up to Muncie, Indiana, and they would film like 13 episodes in a day, because they're like half-hour episodes. Or maybe I don't know what time period they filmed them in. Maybe they did it in a week or a weekend or 2 weeks. I don't know, but basically, they would like film 13 episodes, and that would be a season. So I don't know what seasons mean in terms of like real passage of time. They probably don't mean anything. But anyway, if you want to look at how it's labeled and see which episode I saw, it was season 5, episode 1. And I think it was pretty good. Painting has a way of it's almost like you're watching, I don't know what's the word, like something appear in the fog. There's something very visual about it. I mean, it's a painting. All right, so this looks like, what do you think this looks like? I think it looks like, it could look like the bottom of a spades in a deck of cards. It could look like an angel. It could look like a vase. It could look like a bat. It could look like a dove. This could look like a lot of different things, but it's not going to be any of those. It's going to fold over, and it's going to be the second or third handle, however you want to look at it, for the submachine gun. So that's E2 and E3. We also need 5 G8s. And this E-board, well, this is the E-board, right? This is done. The E-board is done. It's empty. Goes in the garbage now. Recycle. Sorry, recycle. All right. G8. We also could use it as firewood, I guess. So we need 5 G8s, E2 and E3. That's 7 pieces. That brings us from 147 to 154. So we're moving right along. All right, there's 6 G8s here. We're collecting 5 of them. All right. So looking at the instructions, the E2 goes on top and the E3 goes on bottom. And they just should like match. I think the ink will be out. If you put them like back to back like this, the ink is going to be out on both pieces. So you can see like the ink there. If you can, in fact, make out that ink. Well, you can see it says E3. Electronics and what is it? Exposition, something like that. Electronic and Entertainment Exposition. And there's E2. All right, so I'm going to open this butterfly style like a sandwich or something like that. And there's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where I'm going to put the G8s, the 5 G8s. They went in kind of loose, which makes me think that I put them in sideways. Let's try another one the other way. That's definitely snugger. It's unclear, but there's an arrow. Pay attention to the G8 direction. You know, I have a question about the G8 direction, but I don't know how that question is going to be answered by them telling me to pay attention. I need like some more information than just pay attention. So basically, if I put it this way, if I put it the way where the G8 is readable, it's loose. If I put it where the G8 is kind of now on its side, like the way Chinese writing is, then it's very snug. So I'm assuming that that's what they want. It would be weird if they wanted the piece to be loose. So even though you can't tell from looking at the instructions which way it goes, you can tell by the feel of putting the pieces in that they're snug if you put them with the lettering vertical. G8, G8. So I think that's the plan. I think that's what you want to do. All right, 1, 2. We got 3 more to go. So we put the G8 in vertical. There we go. Snug as a bug in a rug. I guess it doesn't matter if the writing is going up or down, as long as it's not going side to side. I think so anyway. I guess we'll find out if I'm wrong. If we're wrong. How do you want to say this? We or you? Well, you might be doing it better if you're following along with your own puzzle. Maybe you're avoiding my mistakes, which is great. All right. So we built this bottom half. All right, so let's put it through this existing board. Okay. It's not all the way through. And will it even go all the way through? Wow, I guess it will. That's going to be cool. That middle piece is going to go all the way in that slot. That like thick part of the G8 is going to fit in there, I think. Yeah, it did. I got one of them in. 4 more to go. Well, 3 down, 2 to go. They should get easier as you do them. Yeah, like 5th one is already half in. I just got to push it in. Basically, each one you get, the next one becomes easier. And then on the other side, we put the E3. Or the other piece if you did the E3 first. The E2. Whatever. They say that that Bob Ross was like whispering when he was doing the painting. I'm not whispering, but I'm also not shouting. Like, believe me, you'll know it if I shout. I'm not going to do it. But definitely, I'm not whispering. I guess I'm not doing, like, let me just do a whisper so you can hear the difference. This is a whisper. I actually hate that sound. So what I'm doing is just talking quietly. Maybe someone will call it a whisper because it's not my outside voice. That was like 10% of my outside voice. I'm not going to do the full one because I don't want to wake you up. There's probably some episodes where I do it because I wasn't paying attention. Like especially the episodes where I'm playing video games with my son, I'm probably shouting. But what I'm doing now is just talking without shouting. Maybe I am whispering, but I'm not doing that specific whisper that everyone hates. All right, so we built this little section of, I guess the front section you would call it, barrel. Does that sound like the right word? Excuse me. All right, we're not done with this barrel, by the way. We still need to add K3 and K4, 2 more pieces. 156 pieces now. Well, we're really digging into that K-board tonight. This is H. Why is it always on the bottom? I mean, why is it never like I'm using the same board 2 panels in a row and therefore it's on the top? All right, K4. Oh, this is crazy. It says K3 and K4. I guess this is 2 pieces. It looks like 1 piece, but it's apparently 2 pieces. It's probably going to go apart like chopsticks, yeah. All right, let's do this. All right, there we go, just like chopsticks. So this is K4. So it's got to be K3. Okay, so if we're holding this piece with the finger grips in front, barrel in front, then the K3 goes on the right side. All right, where does it go? Right down the middle. It's a little confusing because there's multiple pegs and those other ones are for the other side. In fact, I don't think this lines up. I'm holding it backwards, that's why it's not lining up. All right, now it's working. Wow, okay, I was holding it backwards. All right, so the K3 goes to the very front here underneath the iron sight, if that's indeed what that is. And then there's 2 other connections, the second to last and this 3rd slot. All right, so we're getting, ooh, I see this is like a cross, and then we're going to attach a bunch of circles, and then it's going to look like a barrel. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Cool puzzle. All right, K3 is on. Flip it around. Attach K4. Second. Yep. You can see that it lines up with the other piece there. Second slot. Oh, it's only 2 tabs, the very front and the very back. I guess the circles are going to go on here and really tighten things up. All right, that's the end of that page. The next page is a QC. All right, so let's take a look here. Yeah, how's that look? All right, oh, it looks pretty good. All right, let's move on. So we're putting the second piece away, and we're starting on a third construction. And this third construction involves 4 P11s, which are those 30 millimeter steel rods. So 4 30 millimeter steel rods, 4 H15s, and an H16. That's what we need here. So 9 pieces. That brings us from 156 to 165. All right. Let's grab the pieces. All right. So isometrics, we mentioned. Another element of fitness is dance. I know that some people like, this is kind of similar to playing a sport in that there's a motivation coming from somewhere else. In this case, it's the music or the person that you're dancing with. But it's really great, dance. First of all, it's cardio. Second of all, it's a rhythm to it. Third of all, every time you like move your body back and forth, you're also supporting your body. And that's working a lot of stabilizer muscles. So dancing is a great workout. There's people who probably get in shape just by being regular dancers. Don't be shy about dancing. I know that it can be. It can be something that people are shy about. By the way, there's only one H16 in the section that we're building in this panel, but look at all these H16s here. And then there's the H15. So I don't know where these are all going to go, but somewhere. All right, so there's our 1 H16, and we'll grab 4 H15s and get to work here. So the H15s are kind of already stuck together. I don't know if they need to come apart. I'm not really sure until we connect the H16. That's going to tell us. So I'll put like 2 of them through, I guess. And then I'll put the H16 on just to see if I need to break apart the H15s or not. Probably I do. It would be weird if we didn't have to. It's also kind of unclear to me how far we're supposed to be putting this on. Like these P11 pieces, they're going to stick out, right? Oh, okay. If you scroll forward to the next panel, you see that they go right to the edge. But that's yeah, that's these pieces. They go to the edge. All right, so that's what I'm going to do with them. I'm going to put them on the edge. All right. So there's H15 now. H16, yeah, it's going to have to break apart. So I'll break that apart. I'll put on the H16. Now, how do we do this? All right, we'll line up. Okay, the opening. Oh, okay, because the H15s are going to have a space in the middle. So we want to line that space up. These are tricky to do, trickier than you would think. I think I just need support. That'll make it easier. Okay. Right. So the other set's going to go here. I don't know why I suddenly lost my my stream of chatting. Something about this piece. I don't know. I suddenly got absorbed by putting those pieces together. These are like the most boring pieces. There's nothing that should have taken my attention, but somehow it did. I swear I wasn't thinking about anything else. It's not like some important thing came across my mind and I got distracted. It totally was just staring at those pieces as I put them in, which makes no sense, but that's what I was doing. Maybe that's why they call this a hobby, because once in a while you get absorbed. Probably if I wouldn't chat, I would get absorbed into this every night. Probably a good hobby to do. I think I've mentioned this before, but while watching a baseball game. Because the baseball game doesn't take that much attention to watch. So you can kind of do this puzzle at the same time and probably not miss anything. It's probably a good sport for like being a worker, like a mental worker. You should be like a baseball fan because you can easily work and watch baseball at the same time. It's not a very demanding sport in terms of your time, which is weird because the games can be long, but the action is short. Like you only have to have micro doses of paying attention to the game to follow it. Anyway, I don't know how often my hands were blocking that, but there it is. That's just the start, though. We're gonna keep going on here. Another H16, two more H15s, another H16, and A3 times 2, A2 times 2. No, 4 A3s. Okay, 2 H16s, 4 A3s, 2 H15s. So that's 2, 4, 6. It's 8 pieces. So we're going to go up to 173, I think. Yeah, 173. I need 2 H16s, 2 H15s, 2 A3s. No, 4 A3s. All right, H16 times 2. H15 times 2. When the two H15s are like stuck together, they kind of look like a football. Maybe that's what made me think of football. All right, now 2 A3s, 2 A2s. There's a second set there. Actually, the second set goes on first, so I'm going to have to do that. All right, let's just get all the pieces we need, which means 2 more H16s and actually 8 total A3s. All right, so we need 2 more H16s and then we need 8 A3s. And that's going to add 6 more pieces. So we're at 179. The reason why I had to add those is they're actually going to go on here first. So I need to do them all together. And there's our 2 more H16s. And we still need 8 A3s. that them? That's a weird piece, that A3. It's like a little nothing. I guess you put two of them together and it becomes something. But here it looks like nothing. All right, there's 4 A3s. We need 4 more. That's garbage. That's garbage, right? I think so. 4 A3s. So we need 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 4 more A3s. Wow, they like smashing the board that they come out of. In both occasions, putting out the A3s also smashed the board. Well, I guess the A board is pretty thin. Hold on. There's a text. I think only my son would text me at this time, so I'm going to go check it. Hold on. So it was not a very private conversation. I had texted my son and saying, because I know he was keeping the dorm room window like fully open, so I was saying like it's getting cold. Maybe you want to start closing it to like 1 inch open. And he texted saying he'll try that. So it's 1 a.m. I don't know what I'm still doing up at 1 a.m. Anyway, all right, let me finish this section and then I'll sign off for the night. Okay, so we have this thing, and we need to put 2 A3s on. Not sure how that goes. I guess we line that slot up. Yeah, that seems right. When you do it, these rods, they push through. It's like the new piece has the most tension, and these rods end up wanting to jump out the other end. So I guess I have to put them down. Support the backside. Let me just put that on camera. Alright, so there's 1 A3. Get another A3 on the other side. And we have to remember to keep them all going the same way. Well, they go in pairs. So like 4 pairs of A3s to make sure they're all facing the same direction. Because they're not like... It's like they catch to one end and not the other. See, like one end is full and the other end is like blank. So those blank ends need to, through the whole course of this thing, they need to be in the same location, basically. All right, H16. All 4 posts go into the H16. And then we're going to push that down. One of them's not going in. All right. I feel like I'm redoing these pins with every piece because I keep pushing them off the back and then having to slide them back in, which means when we get to the end, they're not going to fit, which is going to be an issue. All right, so you can see the open slot there. See, it's like open. That's the top of that A3. So we're going to put on another set of A3s. And we're going to make sure we line it up so that that open end is in the same location as the other A3s. Wow. Almost didn't go on. Yep. I don't know why this like 4-rod, it's very absorbing. You'll find yourself going quiet when you do it, or maybe not. Maybe it won't be for you. For me, it is. I think it's just a little weird when you put the wood piece into another wood piece. I don't know. Somehow it's just something that's been done a million times, but when you put this, I almost did this one wrong, by the way. Now I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, I think I did the previous H16 wrong as well. You see it's not lined up? Yeah, I gotta fix that. So that means I gotta take these off. Look at that, the whole rod came out. See, I knew there was something weird about these rods. Probably why they're more absorbing of my attention. Than the wood on wood pieces. So these are rods. Metal rods into wood. And I've already messed them up. I got ones coming off the back. I gotta fix that. I got ones that aren't going the right direction on the front. I gotta fix that. And I'm doing this all when I was thinking that I'm about to sign off. So that's like, you have the least ability to concentrate when you're already thinking that you're about to sign off, but that's the situation. Got to get it back on track. See, this bar keeps coming out. Wow, this section is turning into a nightmare. It looked like it was going to be like the easiest possible thing to do. It is definitely not the easiest thing to do. Alright. Let's get an H16 on there. Okay. Did pieces fall off the back, or is this... I feel like I gotta double check the entire thing. Alright, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so we need another set of A3s. This is where we were about to be last time, when we realized something wasn't right. Well, it went on easier this time. Probably makes sense when you do it correct. Things go easier. Alright, another H16. Okay. Okay, good. We're up to the last section. So now it's 2 A3s, H16, 2 A3s, H15, 2, and then H16. Alright, so we still got a little bit ways to go. And we want to keep those A3s lined up with the previous A3s, which means these gaps need to always be on this side. A3. Get on there. Good. Good. And now another H16. And again, we got to keep those slots lined up. Wow, I would not have predicted that this would be the most tedious section, but it's turning out to be. Okay, we got the slots all lined up. We got the spaces all lined up. We need one more set of H2s. Yeah, sorry, A3s. I don't know why I called them H2s. A3s. And one last set of A3s. Then we're gonna do a H15, not H16. Which H15, we got to crack it open. There's like 2 of these. And we line up the space in between the 2 pieces with where the space is on the H16. We're almost there. We're getting there. Strange that I don't have room left on these rods for the last piece, which is an H16. Yeah, that is weird. I don't think I have any longer rods. This is all I've got. Yep. I hear you. Okay. So I guess that's it. Let's just try to get these pieces of metal in, all the way through. Flush at both ends. Not have them sticking out either end. Alright, so this is what we've been doing for the last 30 minutes. Making this little Tootsie Roll. I hope we even did it right. Alright, this side's smooth. There's slots all the way through on the 2 ends. And then this side has like 4 spaces. I don't know. It looks a little like slanted or something. But I guess it's going to go on somewhere, and then that's probably going to straighten it out. All right, 2 K12s on the sides. That brings us to 181 pieces. I'm not sure when I'm going to stop. I don't know if we're going to be able to reattach it to the main piece, but at least these 2 K12s I think will help. And they're right here. All right. So how do we do this? Do we pick either side that we want? No, we picked the original side, but is it obvious? Yeah. It is obvious because one side starts with an H16 and the other side starts with H15. So it should be, yeah. It starts on an H15 side, basically. Didn't go in very far. I thought it would go in further. Let's take that out and inspect it. Let's see if we line this up just so. Yeah, we got it flush now. So there we go. Got to line it up with this slot going over that first disc, not counting ones that have spaces at that first position. All right. There we go. Again, what we're building, I'm not sure, but there it is. Well, apparently we're not done yet. K6, K7, K8, and K9. They're going to go on the back here. So that's 4 pieces. Brings us to 185. K 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right, 6, 7, 8, And the last one is K9. K9. All right. The K9 actually goes on first, and the K6 goes on last, if you can believe that. That's what they're asking for. All right, let's see. All right, K9. Now, when you put the K8 on, you're establishing where this slot goes, and it should line up with this slot. So they're both going vertical. I believe that's what it's supposed to be anyway. Then K7, another wrinkle. There's little ears on the top of this piece. See the little ears? They're also going to line up. This opening is going to line up in the same spot. And same thing for the K6. All right. Now, we're probably going to attach this to the thing we already built, because there's no more attachment points. Well, there is. There's this. I'm not sure. Actually. All right. So we are going to attach 2 more pieces on the front, but we're also going to attach it to this. So the 2 more pieces on the front are H8, aka hate, and B15, aka B15. They're kind of like both words. All right. The B sheet. We've been waiting for a while to use the B sheet, right? That's not it. Where's the B sheet? B15 is right there. Just a circle. B15 is just a circle. Nothing else going on there. And H8. What is that all about? On the text messaging, that would be hate. But obviously not in this case. All right, here's the H board. H8 is another circle. Huge splinter. Okay. H8 goes on first. I don't think there's a particular direction for this. I think it's a symmetrical piece. Now, they also want the B15 to go on here, but I think it can only go on once we attach this to the larger structure, because I think the B15 is going to attach to probably that piece there. So we have to get this on. I think it goes with those little ears. You see those little ears? They're going to go like on left and right of this. So there's the little ears. They're going to end up on each side of this. And then this B15 is going to sort of hold everything in place, assuming we can even get it on in the first place. So far, no good. But let's see if we can get it. Whoops. That kind of starting to fall apart. Does it go all the way back here? I'm not sure. Ooh, it felt like it went on, but that front piece isn't out the front yet. Where the hell is that front piece? Did I put it on backwards or something? Does it need to keep going back a little bit more? It's gotta be, right? I'm confused. There's nothing to stick this this B15 on. I thought there was a little piece that was going to stick out the end. Where did that piece go? Like this piece that you see in there, it's not the right size as this. Confused. Oh well. The B15 is not going on yet because I don't see what to stick it to. But I'm going to keep trying. Nope. I'm going to, like I did yesterday, I'm going to stop, figure this out offline, and explain it first thing tomorrow. I'm John Rapp. This is Just Rest Your Eyes. Good night, and see you tomorrow.